There was once a tortoise, and one interesting fact about this tortoise was that he could talk. A second interesting fact about this tortoise is that he talked quite a lot. In fact, he was very full of his own self-importance and tended to talk about how clever he was quite a lot of the time. So much so, in fact, that every time he went to the waterhole, well, all the other animals would make their excuses and leave because they didn't want to be talked at by the tortoise and told how clever he was. But this left the tortoise with no one to talk to, and for a tortoise who likes talking, that's not a happy state of affairs. However, one day, a flock of geese were flying north for the summer, and two of them peeled away from the flock and came down and landed at the waterhole and had a drink. And the tortoise, well, he pounced on them and he started talking to them. "Hello! Oh, you are such beautiful creatures. It is so nice to see you at my waterhole." And on he went for a little while, and the geese listened politely. But then one of them said, "Well, it's been nice listening to you, tortoise, but we've got to carry on our journey." "Take me with you," said the tortoise. "There's nothing here for me, and we've got on so well." Well, one of the geese said, "The thing is, we're geese. We fly. You're a tortoise, and you don't. So I don't know how you could come with us." "Well, where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm a very clever tortoise. Did I tell you that? Let me think. Yes, I know. I'll find a stick. You bite hold of that stick with your beaks, and I'll bite hold of the stick in the middle, and we'll be able to fly together. Won't that be fun?" Well, the geese weren't so sure, but the tortoise managed to talk them into it. He went off to find a stick, and the geese went and found a nice flat bit of land that would make a good runway. The tortoise came back with the stick. The two geese bit hold of each end of the stick, and the tortoise bit hold of the middle. Then they started to move down the runway, waddling slowly at first, but the geese soon managed to pick up a bit of speed, and then they were really motoring down the runway. The tortoise, well, he pulled in his little feet, he'd bump up and down off the ground a bit, and then they took off and flew up into the sky. The idea worked. It was extraordinary. They flew over a village, and people came rushing out of their houses. And they said, "Look at that! That's amazing! Who's ever seen anything like that before? Those geese are helping that tortoise to fly." And so it went on. Every village they flew over, people came rushing out of the houses, until at last they came to the last village before they would fly over the sea. And there some children came rushing out of the house, and they shouted out, "Look at those clever geese." Well, of course the tortoise could hear all this, and he didn't like everybody giving them all the credit. So when the children said what clever geese they were, he couldn't stop himself. "It wasn't their idea, it was mine." Well, I don't know if that's the end of the talking tortoise, but it's the end of the story of the talking tortoise.